Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is a game I'm running for the Gauntlet, which is an online community of friends and aficionados of small press, indie, and OSR tabletop role-playing games. I'm running an anthology campaign that I call Star Wars Saturdays. Now, if you check the date that this was released, and you say to yourself, that appears to be a Sunday, Rich. I would say you're right, but it's got to be Saturday somewhere. Star Wars Saturdays, what I do is every month I choose a different system, hack it or reshape it so that it fits in Star Wars. And we tell ongoing stories where characters will come in from other games and be reinterpreted or re-engineered, or they'll just be background characters. New characters come together. We tell a story each month. It's really fun. This month, I am running, as you can see from the background, the Sprawl. This is exciting because Sprawl is a game that I've owned for since it came out, and I've been able to play a few sessions of it, but I have yet to run it. So this is it. This is me running the Sprawl. I'm excited to do it. I love cyberpunk stuff. I've even carved out a part of the Star Wars setting and declared that it is a cyberpunky city. And I will say, recent Star Wars media is backing me up that there's lots of cyberpunk possibilities. We've seen things in Bad Batch. Also, if anyone has seen the new Obi-Wan trailer, he is for sure on some kind of cyberpunky place at one point in the trailer. Very cyberpunky. I was like, oh my goodness, this tickles my heart. Also, the Mandalorian's appearance in Book of Boba Fett. So there's lots of at least the flash and style of cyberpunk in Star Wars. Now, there is one tweak for the Sprawl's assumptions that I am going to make, and that is for two reasons. Number one, it doesn't feel as Star Warsy for me. Number two, I am lazy, and this saves me a lot of work. The Matrix, as it exists in the Sprawl mechanics, does not exist in Star Wars. I'm just not ready to make the leap to say that people are like slicing, hacking, and the AIs exist in a completely different cyber space individual. So everything's meat space related. It does mean that the synth statistic is a little nerfed, and I apologize for that. But I did upfront tell people about that, and even removed a couple of the playbooks. In specific, I removed the hacker playbook so that somebody wouldn't feel like they've been gimped or had been kind of stripped of the cool bits of their playbook. Hopefully we can work past that. I know that the Sprawl has been run without the Matrix or hacker playbooks in play, and it worked just fine. So based on that assumption, I assume we will be as well. We are playing on a planet called Sereno, which is in the timeline of Star Wars that we are somewhere after Return of the Jedi, but not quite to the Mandalorian, which means that Palpatine's dead. The New Republic is in force for the majority of the galaxy, but there are pockets and pieces of the galaxy where the Empire still holds sway. It has not released its grip. And Sereno is the capital planet of what's known as Zinj's Empire. Now, I'm stealing that from some expanded universe Star Wars stuff that nobody needs to read, but it exists because I think it's cool, because I want cyberpunk with stormtroopers, and this is how I get it. That's literally the whole motivation. We are playing in the capital city of Sereno that is not called Sereno City, which is totally a Star Wars thing. Planet, capital city is planet name plus city. This one has its own name, Karania City. We've played some sessions in Karania City of other game systems, and some of those NPCs exist here. So we've got a few gangs predefined. We've got a few places and a map. I'm excited to see it in play and to see these corps come more fully to life, because the corps are a living, breathing part of the awfulness that is the Sprawl. We do have safety tools that have been predefined by our players, and so we will be abiding by that. Oh goodness, have we? I clicked a few. I don't see any lines fails or ask first. Everybody work diligently on their characters. Please do take a minute to re-review the safety enroller. And if you are good with it, yeah, just type okay in the chat if you've taken a look and you've done all the safety stuff that you want. I just want to make sure everybody has time for it. We can pause the recording if you need to talk anything out. Just let me know. Just a minute here. You guys do that. That's bad on me. I shouldn't have started the recording. Yeah. Until I checked it. All right, people are moving along. Awesome. So with that in progress, I think I've hit all the stuff. So the Sprawl is a game that is built to, it's very shadow running. You are playing, folks, it is a mission-based, powered by the apocalypse game. You'll be playing runners, you're a team of runners, and the game, generally the story revolves around getting that mission, doing that mission, getting out of that mission, and hopefully getting paid. The game's mechanics rely heavily on clocks, and there are phases of play. You get your job, you go through legwork. From legwork, you'll move to action, and hopefully the legwork will pay off to make your action more successful in trying to get the job done. Yeah, I think that's a good broad overview of things. There are some cool bits that we'll play with as we get into things. Good. Hopefully I have bought everybody enough time. I see lots of safety tool stuff all clicked, and thank you very much for that. On top of those lines, veils, and ask first, let me tell you that we also use the X card, which is the, hey, I didn't realize we would be dealing with that today, and that kills my fun. If you hit any content that's problematic for you, the player, you're more important than our canon or our Star Wars or anything. You can just say, hey, I need to X card a thing. You can type it in chat. You can make an X symbol here, whatever you need to, and we'll pause the recording. We'll figure out what we need to handle that. We'll excise that content from our play and continue on. So important to me, and that's a nice safety lever to pull. So let's do some introductions of players and characters, because I'm excited to see these folks. I'm going to start from the right-hand side of the character keeper, because Will, my good buddy, has made something quite delightful, and I want to have you introduce yourself and tell us about your character, please.
Hi, my name is Will. My pronouns are he, him. I'm not sure what the pronouns are for my character. Wick-Chunt Patiga, and Wick-Chunk Patiga, better known as Wick, is a Jawa who has traveled off-world in search of the shiniest scrap and metal, along with a couple of the Patiga clan, his good buddies, Squackis and Weewa, and yeah, I knew the name would get you.
You're going to make me say Squackus and Weewa? I am
this. Every time, yeah. You're going to make me play them as well, yeah. But Wick, clearly came to this corner of the galaxy because this is the planet where technology is so commonplace that people have it embedded in their faces, which is what Wick did the second he got here. He embedded it in his face, the stuff that Weewa made, which means that he has some not great, unreliable cyber eyes, one might say, but he has built up a fast reputation here as a street level. If you need something, if you need the right part, he can find it, steal it, beg, borrow it, and he maybe even might wash the blood off sometimes.
Oh, nice. That is.
And I've yet to decide on how I'm going to do the Jawa thing. I may not. I don't think I'm going to lean into the Jawa voice too much.
Okay, that's fine. I appreciate whatever effort you give. I'm sure you will bring us the spirit of the Jawa in your portrayal of Wick. Sherry, you are up next. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character, please.
Sure. My name's Sherry. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Danazor, who also uses she, her pronouns. She is an infiltrator, specifically a cat burglar. She sort of works very hard to not be noticed by people outside of those criminal circles. And even then, she keeps it pretty on the down low. She tends to keep a small group of people around her. And so like her fixer, she has two of them. One of them is Wick and the other one is the well-established fixer Janice.
All right.
Yeah. And so, and in fact, Janice is probably her main. And a lot of times, sometimes she's double working a couple jobs at once. So you will find that to be one of the things that she is doing.
She's a multitasker, huh?
She's a multitasker, but she tries really hard to stay really quiet about things. So she's not like a person who's out and about. And let's see here. Her shtick mostly is that she's good naturally at getting around, but she likes to really use that little bit of technology that people don't expect on their buildings and stuff in order to open access where they would never have alarms and things like that. So she's always looking for entries where, you know, people are just having some service that comes in. And, you know, she uses those accesses in those ways. She's also really good at leading other people through, especially small people. So, you know, that's so she can get them into a place
Small,
very easily.
like Jawa-sized people?
Jawas, because Wick is, you know, sometimes you need a few people to break something down really fast. And that's what she is good at. So
That's pretty great.
yeah.
I
So
like the already set up teamwork between.
Yeah.
Can you say the character name one more time for me? Dana?
it's Danazor.
Okay, Danazor. Thank you very much. Then Brandon, welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your soldier.
Thank you. I'm Brandon, use he, they pronouns. Claith Dej Crew, uses he, him pronouns, is a former corporate mercenary who is slow, methodical, precise, and tends to avoid violence where possible, which that and a combination of somewhat insubordinate attitude in the face of corporate authority has led him to be an ex-corporate mercenary who now is, I think, has trouble holding a single crew, and you know has some reserved hopes about the people he's been working with recently, but is and I think that's about it. Tends to travel pretty light as well, not walk around extremely armored and visible.
Okay.
Yeah, that's everything.
So I'm curious, did you have a particular, like which corp did he work for? That's important.
Yeah.
And it could be one that's listed on the Corania City tab, or we can make up one if you don't like any of those.
Probably Osiris, which he's also, not great with tech, which is, I think, another reason he's not working for Osiris anymore.
Okay, cool. Not great with tech. Yeah, the synth -1 causes you trouble, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Bit of a Luddite in a cyber world.
Cool. And thank you very much. Alan, it's your turn, my friend.
My name is Alan. My pronouns are he, him, as are the pronouns of Sox Tomrak, the Deveronian driver. And Sox, it says, it asks the question, why do you have a neural interface with a remote control module? And I have opted for enthusiasm. Sox just loves the rush. The idea of, feeling the wind over the surface of his vintage souped up speeder, or similarly the feeling from his two drones, Alpha and Beta. So that's what Sox is about. But in order to get together the resources to actually soup up and repair the vintage speeder and get hold of the drones and fix the neural interface, he had to steal some stuff. He screwed over the 66 Circle, and is now hunted by them. So Sox is a wanted man by some based on the NPC tab, some very unpleasant looking people.
They do indeed look pretty unpleasant. Awesome. Each of you have 2 directives. Those directives, you will need to choose 2 of the 4. They're on rows 13 to 16. And some of them mean that you will be selecting characters to point those directives towards. So do take a look at those. And then we also need to develop some links. So let's work through that. I'm going to circle back around to Will for Wick. I'm now transitioning to refer to Wick as your character name. So you've got some, let's talk through developing links between characters. Let's see here. So where is it that Wick originally came from? Is he from Tatooine? Because we have seen that there are Jawas on other planets.
I think he is actually from Tatooine originally.
Okay, cool. From Tatooine, came with his clan. Are you the
Came
only?
with a few members of his clan, just his crew, I think, just Squackis, and we were, we were entrepreneurs, trailblazers.
Does the rest of the clan know you're here?
Yes, and they don't approve because we've gone without a sandcrawler, we've gone without the rest of the clan. It's just not the done thing. The noble culture of the Jawas says that you must always remain with your research group.
Are there other Jawas that Wick has seen in Karania City?
I don't think there are, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any Jawas. They just
Exactly.
don't
That's
tend
why
to
I
make
asked
it
the
out
question
to...
that way.
Yeah, yeah.
None that you've seen.
Yeah. I just wanted to be clear that I wouldn't object to there being more Jawas. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Excellent. All right. Let's see here. You've chosen the directives of financial, when you hinder the mission for a chance at extra profit, mark experience, and network, when your membership in blank hinders the mission.
Well, I was going to ask about this because I was originally I thought the Jawa clan, and then I thought it's doubling up a bit. And I'm wondering if maybe my membership in the Rebel Alliance.
Ooh, membership in the Rebel Alliance, which is an extension of the New Republic, like trying to take down Karania City.
Yeah, anywhere where the New Republic doesn't own, it's still the Rebel Alliance, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day.
Still a bunch of rebels. I like it.
Yeah,
I think that's cool. I've changed that directive from a VLOOKUP to where you can type it in. So if you want to type in
awesome
Rebel Alliance, that would be delightful. Why is Wick a member of the Rebel Alliance?
I mean, I think he's a member of the Rebel Alliance in the way that most people are members of groups, quite passively, ultimately, at the end of the day. But, at some point on his travels between Tatooine and Serenon, he was, traveling with some people, and he was like, well, they were really nice. They helped me out. They had some shiny stuff. They let me take the Stormtrooper armor and sell it on for a thing, and they only wanted a small amount of the profits. Clearly it's a better way of doing things. They're just better. And plus, they're not as scary as the Stormtroopers. They never kicked me.
Oh.
So he's not the brave, heroic rebel type. He is the, you go out there and do it, guys, kind of rebel.
Okay. And he has cybernetic eyes. How did he get those?
Well, when they arrived here, Weewa said, that everybody's got this stuff. We're going to look like bumpkins if we don't have this stuff. How can we sell tech if we don't have the tech to show it off? Here, Wick, I've made these. And as far as Wick is concerned, these are cutting edge bits of cyberware. The fact that they're unreliable, I mean, that's just part of their charm.
Okay.
That's why you have two eyes. You don't need, you know, you don't always need binocular vision.
I see. So Wick just has one cybernetic eye then.
No, he has two.
Oh,
But
okay.
when they don't
But
always,
if one goes
they're
off, the
unreliable.
other's still working. Right.
Yeah,
I
most of the
gotcha.
time. Most of the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
That seems not at all problematic. That is great. Cool. Let's see. Any other questions that I had? Does anyone have any questions about Wick Chung Patiga? All right. Let's move to
Do
our
we
left.
do we
Oh.
know that you had this association with the Rebel Alliance, and therefore,
Hmm.
given where Karania City is, as I remember, stop me if I got that wrong, Rich, you could well attract undue attention to us as a team.
Yes.
I don't think that anyone can even conceive of a Jawa scavenger being a member of the Rebel Alliance, particularly not on Krania City. So
it will be a surprise.
Yeah, I don't think that Wick is particularly keeping it secret, but more a case of it hasn't really come up. So, you know.
Who'd ask?
Yeah,
Who'd
who'd
ask
ask?
for Jawa? Where
I
were
mean,
you
so-
in the big war? Yeah, what did you do in the war, Wick? No, that's not going to happen. No.
Well,
okay.
he does sometimes talk about, running the conduits on Hoth, but everyone just thinks he's making it up.
That's awesome. Little Jawa on Hoth. It's just, oh my goodness. You'd be so cold. It's a good thing you guys are fuzzy. That is awesome. Sherry, let's talk about Dana. You've chosen the directives of financial
Mhm.
and intimate. So when you put your friend blank, and I've changed that so now you can type in who is your friend who you might put ahead of the mission.
Well, and that's a good question. I was open to lots of things. I don't think it should be Janice.
Sure, that makes sense to me.
But I want someone who would like have some stake in these things.
Okay.
So
is it someone who has stake in these things? Would that be a corporate person? Would it be
or someone who needs some
stuff too?
Yeah.
Okay, I could see.
How about Kala and Kari?
Oh, she eats stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Poor Kala.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. So whenever you put your friend Kala ahead of the mission, mark experience. That's going to be interesting. So Kala is in the NPCs tab. She is an EMT for Block 13. Now, Block 13 in Karania City is a step above the Hive. Metroplex is totally lifted from the Judge Dredd vibe of like a Metroplex 100-story apartment tower type deal. So like mega block stuff going on there. And she is the medic for the entirety of one of the towers. The single medic. She is always overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated, except a dinosaur. Cool. Have you lived here your whole life on Karania City?
Yep, absolutely. Probably in Block 13, probably.
Ooh.
And that's the thing is, talk about a place to practice becoming a cat burglar. It's perfect for it. If that makes any sense. There's all these places, they're kept in various degrees of repair, getting in and out and wandering through. You grow up in that, you learn a lot of ways to get around people, not be noticed, that kind of stuff. So
tell me about her neural interface. Is that an obvious mod?
That's a good question. I don't think it is. I do think that it's an investment from Janice.
Okay.
Notice that it's mostly about kind of recording and not being picked up on.
Cool. All right. And you get extra intels on hits. That's great. You've got encrypted and high speed. When you're jacked into the matrix and relevant stat to your rolls. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll elide the jack in, but we'll still use some of that functionality. Sounds good. Does anyone have any questions about your infiltrator? All right.
I mean, is Dana's mercenary inclination, this, hinder the mission for a chance of extra profit, is that, again, is that something that is obvious, or is this something that she keeps on the down low?
I think she attempts to keep it on the down low. She thinks she's keeping everything on the down low. Mind you, she's young. So, but she thinks she is. Yeah, definitely. So.
Do you think that because of her youth and possible indiscretion that Sox is aware of Kala, like knows that the two of you are friends, just maybe isn't aware of any moment when you've sacrificed the mission for her sake?
Sure. If you're from Block 13, you probably know that they're friends. So
Nice.
I
Cool.
am now.
all right,
There
it's
you
the
go.
coolest place, really. So there you go. Or the
All right.
worst place.
Claith, it appears you've chosen filial. You put the advice of X ahead of the mission mark experience. Who are you thinking along those lines?
I wasn't quite sure on that, but could be something like a mentor, possibly like someone either from growing up, or like someone he worked with in the corporate world that he still has contacts with.
Okay. Cool. I wasn't sure if you were interested in filial by the like pure definition of it being a family related, like blood relative. You'd rather keep it in corporate relationships, work related.
Family would work as well. Yeah, I didn't. I picked that. I was like, I need a connection somewhere, but I haven't quite worked it out.
Okay. Well, who is Claith related to? Just a parent, a sibling, a cousin, a nibbling?
I think cousin.
All right, cousin. Now, where did Claith grow up? Was Claith from Karania City or from outside?
From Karania City. And what would be like the step up from Block 13, I guess? Was Block 13, or they're just kind of different levels of that where you're like, I was like, not from the worst part of it, but not from wealth.
Yeah, not from wealth. So probably Port Quarter before 66 Circle took the place over would probably be a step up from Block 13. Like people would be jealous of the charter schools that you could attend at Port Quarter, which of course Port Quarter is that's what everyone calls it, but it has like its name. I think it's called like Sheev Quarter is the official, named after Sheev Palpatine, maybe. And there are talks of renaming it to Zinj Quarter, but Zinj hasn't approved it. He's the warlord who runs this part of the empire.
Yeah, I think he's a Port Quarter boy who is now trying to be a Metroplex 13 guy, someone who had what his father would have called promise, but didn't really do very well in those charter schools, like the aforementioned authority issues, and so is interested in excitement, but still with a fairly keen mind. Ended up in corporate security that did not make his father proud.
Nice. So let's define this cousin a little bit. Do you will be human, I assume. Are they mixed up with 66 Circle, or are they dealing with the after effects of 66 Circle having taken over things?
Dealing with the after effects.
What do you think they do? And do you have a name you're interested in for them?
I don't. So I think they're probably like an establishment owner, not a large establishment owner, but someone who, yeah, maybe owns like a small restaurant.
Cool. Stuck. I'll do a background of yellow in the NPCs tab, row 30. I just stuck in the person who owns a small restaurant in Port Quarter, deals with 66 Circle, cousin of Clay's. I'll give you a minute or two to fill in some deets on them if that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So you got a tactical computer. You assess in a tactical situation, you get to hold one even on a miss. That's pretty sweet. How do you imagine that looks? Are you going with the vibe that we have in the picture for the character, where they have those like cyber glasses and the headset there, or did you have a different idea?
Yeah, that was my idea from it matches the picture, and I think, he was never going to let them put cyber eyes in his head. It's like it's going to be external only, has to be through the glasses. So it'd be something that could be taken on or off.
Nice.
It was probably mostly always worn.
Cyberware is pretty ubiquitous, especially in the corporate security level. Why did Claith avoid getting implants?
Because they can turn them off. or if you get cyber eyes and they take them away, then you haven't got eyes anymore, or you're completely indebted to them. I think his cyberware is probably a little bit stolen. It's like funded from his previous job and just took it. Maybe someone who worked on tech could jailbroke it. Yeah, figure jailbroke, bricked eyes were not what he was looking for.
Is that something that Clay has heard about and was worried about, or does he know somebody that this happened to?
Yeah, I probably another family connection or a friend, couldn't tell me if this does not work, but couldn't make payments on a cyber mod that they had, and is blind.
Did they come and did like a reclamation, somebody come and take them, or were they just shut off? Like the software's more expensive than the hardware kind of deal.
I think someone came and took them.
Okay.
Yeah. Repo them for those eyes.
We're dancing into some body horror here, just checking in. Everybody cool with what we just threw out? Yeah, I see a big smile from Will, and that's right up his alley. So I knew I had Will.
In Star Wars terms,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Star Wars terms. Cool.
It's black.
Yes, we will not have that surgery described, but knowing it existed is pretty cool. So if you could name that cousin, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to find a pic and drop it in there, that would make me even happier.
Right. Give awesome a different surname from myself. I found a nice one from the generator. Ombre Wart, no, Wardle, Ombre Wardle.
Oh, neat. That's a fun Star Warsy name. Cool.
Find a picture.
Awesome. Thank you. I will jump over here to talk to Socks Tomrak. So Socks, it turns out you're from Block 13 you just mentioned earlier. Is that right?
Well, I've got a couple of ways to go for this. I think I am now, because I rejected when your former membership in hinders the mission mark experience. I wonder if I'm on the run from 66 Circle, who hold the port, or who have sway in the Porg quarter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I am hiding out in Metroplex 13.
That's great.
Is that okay?
I love it. I really like that a lot.
So yeah, previous associate. So what I've said is I carked someone to get the various bits of equipment. I'm hunted by 66 Circle, of which I was previously an associate member.
Oh, interesting. Who among 66 Circle do you miss?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think I miss Bot.
I looked at him and I was like, he's gonna choose Bot. He's gonna miss Bot. That's great.
I think
great.
I miss Bot because occasionally Bot would let me, inverted commas, ride him, and the sense of power you get from being in the skin of a bot that big that's a miss. That was a real rush.
And for the audience, Bot is a member of 66 Circle that in the picture is twice as tall.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's hunched down because of the ceiling height in that picture. So I think he's at least 12 and probably 15 feet high.
I would agree with that. If he ever stood all the way up, which he of course never does. He's always hunched over. That's awesome. What a great choice. Why did you leave 66 Circle? You got this stuff, didn't want to pay for it, or was there
exactly? They were talking about full membership and beginning to do some of the stuff that they do, and they do some pretty hairy stuff. That was not fun. Even to get associate membership, you had to do some pretty unpleasant stuff. So yeah, no, since get the gear, make a move.
Wow. So they did the implants just anticipating, like they wanted you ready to go.
Yeah, because what they lack, I think I'm right in thinking, is a driver. Oh, then there's the Tuscan pod racer of some note.
Yeah, but he's all up in pod. He doesn't like do the work. He's all about. So they need somebody who's functional like you.
Yeah, and so yeah, I was going to fill that remaining box on the NPC tab next to Kiefer Daring. But that required making some commitments that Socks found a little bit beyond where he was prepared to go. So yeah, he lit out.
Okay, man, there's some hurt feelings. Got to be some hurt feelings there. How long were you in with 66? I mean, it wasn't a couple months, right? It was a while.
Oh, I think probably they haven't been around. They're the most recent arrival in terms of a consolidation of gangs. And so I think that they've come up, as from a teen gang, and now they're beginning to flex their muscles. So I think he was in as a teenager, and that's where the associate membership came from. And maybe they weren't even called 66 Circle when they started.
Interesting.
But they became 66 Circle, and then they had resources to help him out, and he happily made use of the resource.
And ran.
Where else are you going to get that kind of resource in the Paul Quarter?
Where else, indeed? Certainly not going to get it from the local ping vending machines, that's for sure. That's great. Does anyone have any questions for your driver?
No, I think I actually, they were, so 66 Circle were maybe a smaller group before back when SOC ran for them. Why did you steal from them rather than carry on working for them?
Oh, because they they're sadists. They really hurt people. They are not good people. They are, there's gangs and there's gangs, right? There are gangs who are in it for the look. There are gangs who are in it for the kind of excitement, and there are gangs who are in it for too much pleasure.
And you were always in it for the wheels, right?
I was always in it for the wheels, you know?
Nice. Dude, yeah, that is fascinating. I like it a lot. Cool. Oh, and I don't know if I asked, did anybody have any questions for our soldier? Any that popped in your head?
I did have one. Does Claith have any, the cops are pretty brutal, like they're bad guys to a great extent, right? So how does Claith feel about the work?
The corporate work, not great, and might have been, it was like a little bit of not the right culture fit, or a lot of it not the right culture fit, and part of that was, they're as brutal or more brutal than the 66 gang, and oddly enough, doing work for small crews or some of the other gangs is like less violent, and against like sometimes more deserving people than if he was working for a corp.
You don't have a contract that says you have to take this job against this poor person who just can't afford to pay the rent this week or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, perfect.
Good stuff. Cool. Well, I appreciate all of these interesting characters, and I can't wait to see them work together. But we have reached our midpoint, so let's take our midpoint break. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to go over links. If you want to look just to preview how we're going to do it, it's on the peripheral moves tab starting at row 15. This is the final step of the preparation process. We'll be creating a series of professional links between the characters. Why does this matter? Number one, we get to do some world building. We get to establish you guys as a professional team of runners, and we get to develop some enmity between you and certain corporations. It's going to be great, friends. So we've already taken step one. Each player describes and introduces their character to the group. Now we're going to start, I think we're going to start with Alan. So each player will tell everyone about a job their character did against one of the corporations established in step 0, which is, hey, what corporations do we have? So just look to the Karania City tab and grab one of those. So you've done a job against one of the corporations established in step 0. Alan, you will describe your character's role in the job. Gee, you're a driver. Name the corporation you ran the job against. You play a leading role in the job, either in charge of the operation, providing critical skill around which the mission was based. This is a chance for you to show off a little. I'll start a countdown clock for that corporation. And if someone names this, yes?
So is this a job done with this team or just a job?
That's a great question. So in step 4, the player to your left will just say that that's Will. We'll do it. The player to your left will tell how their character was involved in the job, and they'll take +1 link with your character.
Fine. I think that we did a job targeting Ping, the corporation which has a monopoly on food in the city. So I think that's what we did. I think that this was intercepting a consignment of yeah, I think we did. We intercepted a a convoy of ping transports heading into the port quarter. And the thing that I did was with Dana in the passenger seat, and Claith and Wick hanging onto the back of the speeder, I maneuvered us into a position where we could intercept them, is what I'm thinking. No, that's, sorry, with Wick hanging on the back, because we're going to do it one at a time, aren't we? With Wick hanging on the back, we intercepted. That's what we did.
So, well, just so we have the process in place. I love the job a lot. The player to the left will tell you how their character was involved in the job. So I just want to check in. Will, you playing Wick? Are you good with what Alan as Socks has thrown out as your involvement? Is there any tweaks you want to make to that?
No, because I think that we flew in. He sped up underneath these great transports, and Wick scuttled off like a little, limpet crab kind of, and then rewired the auto droid to divert one of these trucks away to our own means, basically.
Okay, cool. Then you, Wick, will take +1 links with Socks.
Okay.
And then I will advance the corporation's clock by 1 more.
Let's put them all up there.
Pink's gonna love you guys. Love. Cool. Now we continue to the left. So the next person on the left sorry, Rich, making sure, is Dana. So continuing forward. Was Dana involved? You were written into it in Sox's description. Are you cool with that? Are you involved?
That's interesting. Yeah, let's say that I was. Essentially, I was there to essentially jump back through the other trucks, because one of the trucks was carrying a set of contest, like the stamps that you get for a contest, like you buy a can and you have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially my whole thing was I was supposed to slide in there, get the secured files that are like where the big winners are, and grab those boxes. So
okay, so you stole some.
we stole a bunch of pop prizes is what we stole. Like mostly a hat or, that kind of stuff. And then a few 5,000 credits, 10,000 credits. And the big win, which we had to find someone who was plausible to win it and take a cut. So.
Oh man. Who won? Is it established NPC, or should we establish that NPC?
Oh, do we have someone who let's see here. This was probably a very fraught negotiation, wasn't it? I'm going to guess that this was sort of an add-on that Janice put onto the thing. So I'm guessing that he chose someone.
All right. So
but
we
got our
Janice
cut
chose a winner
on the big prize.
Now, Claith, it seems like Sox wanted you to be part of that mission. Did you contribute?
You are muted.
Yes, I think not on the day. It's probably like back monitoring comms traffic, but contributed with in the planning and planning phase of that, using corporate contacts to find when that shipment was going through and some of the security information about it.
You're the man in the chair. Okay. Now, that means Claith and Dana will both also have +1 links with Socks. Yeah, this is cool. So the way this works is each player gets to do that thing. You talk about a job with a corporation, and just so we're clear, every person who says, yeah, my character is involved too, you get a link with the person who started the conversation. And I advance the countdown clock for how much that corp doesn't like you. Ping really does
don't like
not
us.
like you guys. That's okay. They're not good people. Wonderful. All right. So we have an example. We're going to now go to Claith. Claith, tell us about a job your character did against one of the corporations.
Lath is going to get us involved with the droid sentience movement, I think. And so a job Claith was involved in was planning helping plan a hack job of Osiris servers to, I guess, steal software that would, I'm not sure exactly, how they impair the droid sentient rights movements, but some kind of software that blocks droid sentience, however that works.
Sure. So that is interesting. I think we can go just to shoot restraining bolts. Maybe there's some kind of software connection built in for restraining bolts, because that's definitely steals their ability to do what they want. And that is interesting. Which corporation do you think you were working against? There are a couple that have openly talked about some things. So Osiris is definitely a computer tech memory storage databases. Novatech also does advanced droid systems to serve the agricultural industry, but of course any of the corps could be involved. So you're doing some droid sentience movement activities. Which corp did you go up against?
Osiris.
All right, let me choose Osiris. And the mission was a data steal of some software that,
yeah, I guess maybe help, could trying to think if they, had some probably do their own research on like, okay, if we were gonna, crack restraining bolts, here's what we would do. Let's make sure someone else can't do it. So stole that part.
cool. And now we will look to your left. Socks, were you involved in this mission?
Nah, it didn't involve driving things fast. Why would I? I don't get out of bed for data. Jesus, that's just so. Oh, God, there's just no rush in data.
Wick Chumpatiga, were you involved in this data steal for bolt cracking software?
Of course.
What did you do?
Well, I cracked the bolt cracking software.
Wow, you are the cracker. That is great. Take +1 link with Clay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when I say I cracked it, I mean I, hit the metal box, because it's Star Wars, right? So it's not all in the data sphere. It's like mechanical things. I clearly hit it with a big wrench and broke off bits that were supposed to be, and then came away and was like, "See, that's why you get a professional." Like, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Awesome. And then Dana, were you involved in this mission?
Yes. I went in and I provided a distraction while they were doing the theft. Essentially, I went into the data side of things and kicked off all of the scripts that they have for backup and of the databases, so that simultaneously all their databases were, how should we say, in backup and unavailable. So it kind of like had this thing that essentially all their tech people were being called to come in and fix this, and they didn't have any any bandwidth for anything else going on. So
Nice. That is a pretty heavy set of take +1 link with Clay, and you guys successfully helped. There's a droid sentience movement that continues to work. Now, that opens the door for a question that I wanted to pose to the group. This is a check-in, and actually, let me see if I even need to check in. Like, okay, cool. So I don't see this on the safety tools, but I do want to check in. For your current mission that you're about to get, once we do all of our history missions and develop links, there's the possibility of there being a kind of, well, I'll use Shadowrun terms and then I'll try to put it in more English terms. Humanist Poly Club group, like a pro-humanity. What? That existed in Shadowrun. Don't give me that look. It totally is a thing. So like a pro-humanity, meaning they're against droid sentience and they're also against aliens coming in. It's those dirty aliens coming in and taking our jobs. Corania City, keep it pure. We're the historical. Is anyone not comfortable with that?
They're the bad
No,
guys.
I'd enjoy crushing them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not good guys.
They're the Imperials. 'Cause
Basically,
the
yes.
Imperials are supposed to be droids and nothing else, and anti-alien, right? So yeah.
Yes. They're very much a grunt level Imperial influence. So I just want to make sure that was cool. The faction is called themselves the Evolved, and they are very anti droid sentience, anti-aliens getting involved in things. So, okay, cool. That is an awesome hit. You are a friend of droids, Clay. Do they know that you're involved in the droid sentience movement, or do you do that through some like pseudonyms? And as far as you know, they aren't aware of your involvement.
I'm gonna lean hard into this. I'm gonna think that my work at Osiris, part of their gig is pressing droid sentience movement, and like as someone who has come to really despise people with their thumb on others, grew to have an affinity with that movement and is an active member.
Nice. Does he have is it like the concept of it, or does Clay have certain droids that he's like close, intimate, personal relationship with, and that has influenced yes, I am friends with lovers with so-and-so droid thing, and therefore I'm part of the movement? Or is it more of a general, I have seen what Osiris does to them and I support this movement?
I think it would start as the latter, seeing what Osiris does to them, but has become also close to droids. It was probably something that wouldn't have been maybe as, I don't know if it would be as common to be close to a droid, if you're a corporate mercenary. It would just be tools and things. And now it's like having relationships that he wouldn't have had in his previous life.
That's so interesting though, like droid sentience movement supporter who doesn't want any cybernetics in himself because they could turn it off. I love that juxtaposition of beliefs and ideas. That's really, really interesting. Cool. All right, we're halfway done. It's time for Dana to tell us.
So I think it's Kitsune Media Group for me. And essentially, I was involved in a thing to set up the escape of some of their pop stars that they have, like Kafuku had escaped previously, and now there's a whole thing with some of the other groups seeing if they can get free so they can own their music and live a
You ran a pop star underground railroad? Is that what we're talking about?
Exactly.
This is amazing. I'm so here. That is a great mission that you ran against Kitsune. So let's see. Claith, were you involved in this pop star underground railroad?
Definitely. I think this time in the front,
In the front.
helping extract these pop stars.
Oh, it's poor. Surgically enhanced to be perfectly beautiful, excellent dancing. Why would they want to be free themselves from this corporate servitude? Oh, that's awesome. So you were up in the front, Clay. Like, is this a thing where you fought to defend when some of their chaser droids or a Kitsune media group security team came after them to secure their passage? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Or either that or having to like face his way, maybe or probably starting as like impersonating a member of a security detail, having a corporate security background, being able to at least fit that bill for a little while, and then helping things go sideways for that detail.
Nice. Socks, is this a thing that you were involved in?
Oh, yes. At pace with very attractive media stars. That is the job that I escaped 66 Circle to do. Absolutely.
Cool.
We solo so fast.
Take a link with Denazor then. That is great. I love that. We have to now create and name a pop star of some kind that has escaped and sing songs about you guys, because that just amuses me to no end. And now, Wick Chumptega, did you involve yourself in this pop star Underground Railroad?
Yeah, and perhaps what we said earlier about the Rebel Alliance membership. Perhaps Dana is maybe the one who knows that I do have any kind of links to the Rebel Alliance, because maybe they're the people who helped the off-world,
Nebula 5. Oh, you guys
So
helped Nebula
cool.
5 get out. That's delightful.
That I don't know if that's a reference that I'm only getting rich, but we had Nebula 6 in our Moonpunk game.
We
I
did,
think.
didn't we?
Yeah. So Nebula 5 would be maybe like part of her family of pop stars kind of thing. Maybe they were like the Jackson 7 or whatever, like the Nebulas.
She escaped first. She was the one who immigrated to Woth, and that is great. Love it. Nebula 5. Cool. Thank you for your wonderful pop star freedom mission, Denazor. It is finally time for Wikchunk Patiga. And trust me, friends, you guys have a lot of hate from the media. You guys have a lot of heat from these corps. This is fantastic. I love your teamwork.
Well, I guess that's my question would be, which corp do we really want to piss off? Because so far we've gone for a different corp each time, but if I double up on a corp, then they're really going to be after us, right?
That's a true statement.
So it's my turn right now to choose
It is. Yeah, I'm
corporation,
sorry.
a job
Please
against
choose a corporation and
Yes.
job.
Yeah, I thought it was. I just suddenly realized that I'd inserted myself without a direct question to do so.
No, you jumped in exactly what I wanted you to. Thank you.
I do quite like the idea of Osiris is the clear one, but I kind of like food is what everybody in the city needs, and then there's this sort of joy in being hated by Disney, basically, isn't there?
Can I just ask, what happens if you fill the clock, Rich? Because I think if Wick goes with one of the ones we've got, we may well fill the clock.
It won't go above 2400 or basically midnight, but that means that it's kind of a hunted tag that all of you will have. Not kind of, it is. You'll have a hunted tag by that corporation. They will go out of their way to make your lives miserable.
Then it has to be the Kitsune Media Group, doesn't it, really? Because that's the most fun one to have hunting you down, is the Disney corporations.
All right,
Um,
tell us about this new mission against Kitsune. Dang it.
I think this was less noble and less thing. It was basically like stripping the copper wiring. It was removing all of the fancy HoloNet technology in a new display in the middle of Karania City. So that when it did turn on, instead of being the most legible holograph in the world, like not the Star Wars flickering blue one, it was supposed to be like the Star Trek versions,
Full
but
color.
in
Yeah.
full color, completely realistic. And then when it loaded up, it was just like, and Zinj, it was a hologram of it. It was supposed to be a big hologram statue of Zinj himself.
He took note of this then. That is awful.
And
I
we made
mean,
it
for them.
8-bit.
Yes, we made it 8-bit. Yeah.
It's like a Mario version of Wario. Oh man, it's like WarioWare. This is great. Donna, were you involved in the HoloNet display fracas?
Yeah, I had to get Wick's crew in. That was the thing. So I assisted with the infiltration and made them wrap all of their gear in, sound deadening cloth so that they wouldn't be smashing it against the walls and drawing attention. So, yeah, that was it. It worked great.
It's where we discovered the benefits of having 3 small people versus
Exactly.
two large people. Yeah.
Claith, were you involved in the HoloNet display fracas?
Great Kitsune Caper. No, I was not involved in that one.
Okay. Oh, Dana, please take one link with Wick. And then Socks, were you involved in the?
Yeah, because I ended up having to carry that copper wire away. And I am still trying to get the scratches off the inside of that. Do you know how difficult it is to get that material to recover chairs?
I can find you a new car. I can find you a new car.
I don't need a new car. Do you know how much it costs to replace that material in the seats of my speeder?
I give you new material. You did not want.
Yeah.
Look, it's the same as Rancor skin. No one can tell the difference between one Pratt and Rancor.
Amazing. Oh, this is good. Thank you, guys. You've made my morning. I think we may not get all the way through the mission, but we definitely have some cool links. So remember that if you jumped in to assist with anyone else's mission, you get +1 link with them. The way that links works in the mechanics is in 2 ways. Works similar to HX. If you want to help somebody, you'll roll plus links with them. So you're either rolling +0 or +1. At the end of every mission, not session, mission, if you felt like the 2 of you worked well together, or if you carved out some in-between mission phases scenes to have, then you can increase your link with them by 1. And then when you reach 4 link, then we can evolve. And let's see, at 4 links, I think it's XP basically. This game, you need a lot of XP to advance. That's one thing I'll tell you. The good news is that you need 10. The good news is, though, that there are mission-based XP that everyone gets. When you do this thing, everybody gets an XP. So don't fret. It'll be perfectly fine. Thank you all for that. Those are a wonderful set of missions, and you have set up this particular mission incredibly well. I'm so interested to see how this goes. All right. The name of the mission you are about to take is called the Sindar Extraction. Very, very obvious why it's called the Sindar Extraction in just a few moments. Janice reaches out to the lot of you, and he asks if you would be amenable to meeting at the Chip-Off Cantina. So if you take a look in the NPCs tab there, the Chip-Off Cantina is, oh gosh, actually, I will ask you, Sherry, do you remember what quarter Chip-Off Cantina was? Was it in Block 13, or was it in one of the quarters?
I think it was, well, no, Block 13 was like next door. I think we were in the sort of very like lower middle, I mean the lower class, but not Block 13.
Okay. So probably Porg Quarter.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Some 66 circle problems.
Yeah. But I mean like
Delightful.
13th block was like where we did a bunch of our stuff. So.
Exactly. Cool. So he's asked if you would meet him at the Chip-Off Cantina, which is located in Porg Quarter. So let's ask Claith, when you get this, it's probably like on your comm unit. By the way, my version of my mental canon for comm units is that a comm unit looks like the comm units we have seen in Star Wars. So they look a little bit like a lipstick case, except, which I think maybe they were in the original movie. I don't know. But I think there's like a little text display. So imagine a phone and a pager. That's the tech level you get from comm units. Also, the idea of a pager just tickles me. I don't know why. So, and you get your little, maybe it's a pocket secretary technology from old cyberpunk. I don't know. So Claith, you get this message from Janice asking if you can meet at, and then there's a coded thing that pagers gave text messages. That's what they did. It's that it. That's the whole thing.
Everyone always seemed to run to a phone booth right afterwards, so I could never understand. Yeah,
It's like a really limited text function. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, do you answer the phone anymore? No, you read text.
I'm 100% behind the cyberpunk Star Wars world, still having that level of technology in this sort of thing. Yeah,
Good. I'm glad. So Claith, you get this message from Janice asking to be at Chip-Off Cantina in the Porg Quarter, and here's the thing, Janice, when he gives you guys job, you have time for legwork, setup. He asks you to meet in an hour, like in an hour, which is extremely unusual. And he puts a couple like asterisks, like his urgent ASCII bit of text that he puts in there. It's in Arabic, but we can all do that. So Claith, do you drop everything and run?
I don't like it, but it seems urgent, and I will, feel uncomfortable about it. But.
And when you get this message, where is Claith? What's he doing? What's our like intro scene for this particular episode of Claith Days Crew?
Let's say eating at the canteen, eating at my cousin.
Oh, it's your cousin's place?
Omri, eating at Omri's canteen. We're in the Porg Quarter, right?
Yeah,
yes. Where I get this.
Like you could just jander over. It's an easy walk. We got a name. Is it just called Omri's?
Yeah.
You think it's like, I'm looking at the picture right now. Is that like mostly a noodle shop kind of deal?
The larger picture I had let me see.
Ooh, link me to that larger picture.
Where did it? Oh, did I just crop it on my computer like a jerk? I'll find it. Like,
okay, cool. Don't fret about it. Just pop it to me when you get a chance, but no stress. So you're sitting there eating noodles with Omri. He's telling you about the latest Smash Ball results. Oh, then he ran across the whole field before they took him out and probably broke a leg. It's not like you can get cybernetics for that kind of stuff. So, but it was a good match. You get the message. He sees you're distracted. He talks to it, tries to call. Come over. I got free samples. Come on, come get some noodles. And then he gets quiet when he realizes that one of the people he tried to call over is a member of 66 Circle. Socks, which member of 66 Circle is walking past the noodle shop right now?
I think it has to be Cass Didier, the Twi'lek face.
Oh yeah, the Cass Didier. You can see he's in the picture. He's like playing with a bunch of Savak cards. He smiles when he sees. Oh man, he has that look of like, you just stepped into it now, and I'm so gonna take advantage of that. So he comes over and sits down right beside you, Claith, in the little stools that I'm imagining. Like, you can just, unless you had an idea that this was more inside and interior, I was thinking, like, is it more like there are stools and you're kind of stepping off the street more or less with an awning overhead, or
interior? It's like
okay, cool.
like a convenience store newsstand one side, and then
oh yeah,
like,
that picture helps a lot.
On the other side, like stools with noodles. So it'd be like,
oh cool,
eating
so
probably like half turned towards right.
Gotcha. Nice. So maybe there's a camera of him and there's a hollow of yeah. So Vastadur Kas comes in and he just stands beside you. Free noodles, yes, of course. That sounds wonderful. Give me some of your best selection. And he'll look over at you, Claith, and Claith, I see your pick. Like, you don't look corp anymore, do you?
No.
Or okay.
It's like the jacket is like, lightly armored weave. So probably to anyone who's looking with a keen eye, lightly armored, but not corp for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So he catches sight of that and he makes note of it, but doesn't. And it's one of those where he asks, "Oh, a couple more of those. I want to get some of those to my buddy. You want free samples? You want business, don't you?" And I think it's he calls your cousin by the wrong name. Like, he doesn't even know his name. He's like, Amarasu, right? Amarasu, come on, man. You want more business? Give me some more of those. I got the whole crew I gotta feed. Give me some more noodles. And Amare looks uncomfortable about it. But he starts working up some of the noodle packages and cooking that up. Did you need to go? And he Amare asks, and then he holds up before he uses your name.
I think I'll have another bowl before I head out. And I'll just, like, I guess, sort of instead of rushing off, we'll remain long enough to make sure everything is okay in the noodle bar.
Okay, it's not okay. Kos, after getting, he says there's technically 6 of us, but Bot doesn't eat, so 5's fine. 5's, and then he grabs a couple of the items, because I imagine it's the bodega, right? Like, so he grabs a couple of the items in the boxes there. He goes, "Hey, how about a few of these too? A few of these, yeah. And some death sticks. You got any of the camels? Yeah." And he's just like, it looks like it's going to be several hundred credits worth of order, and then he just says, "Yeah, bag that up," and he makes no offer to pay whatsoever. And your cousin's like, that'll be 73 creds. He says, "Put it on my tab, buddy." Yeah. And he reaches out and he, like, puts his hand, like, cups Amare's face and says, "Come on, Marcel, we're going to work together." And he looks over at you like, "Don't do anything." What do you do? Should we cut away from you and jump to somebody else?
Yeah, cut away from me while I think about whether I do something stupid.
Socks, when you get your text from Janice, it's urgent, man. Fast. It's right up your alley. What are you doing?
I think on the 98th floor of Block 13, I'm working on the speeder.
Which park it in one of the
I park it in one of the 2 rooms, I think. And so I'm working on the speeder, and I'm thinking, oh shit, that's in the pool quarter. I cannot, this is so recognizable. And so I find myself, so cut to me coming out of the public transit system in the pool quarter. It is just so embarrassing. And also what's embarrassing is that I'm disguising my appearance with a hood. And a Deveronian in a hood is not a good look. Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of like Ahsoka, which she was very...
It comes all the way down, it comes all the way over and down. So it looks like I've got this enormous head under there, and yeah, I'm trying to get to the cantina while remaining incognito.
Well, darn it, I gotta see how we gotta hit some dice for that to see if you are seen. So let's have you. I think you're acting to avoid the danger of being caught out.
Well, I'd like
On
to
feet.
roll to
Mhm.
assess the best approach.
Ooh, okay. I'm into that. So when you closely
Study a
study a person, place,
personal
or
place.
situation. Yes, you're rolling plus edge. And Socks, your edge is a 1. So go
It
ahead
is.
and roll us some edge there.
Oh, that is a 10 plus 1 is an 11.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. Good work. And I will look at those options there. And I think it happen. You get stop
Hold
talking,
3.
just read. Hold 3. All right. You got some questions you can ask here.
Okay, so in the ensuing action, you may spend 1 hold at any time to ask the MC. Okay, so how can I avoid trouble or hide here? I make myself inconspicuous. Oh no, what is my best way in or past anyone linked to 66?
Oh, nice. That is a great question to ask. So we already have you on the public
So
transit, which
I've
is
come out of the transit station in the Poor Quarter, and I'm hunched in the entrance, just looking this way and that, and thinking, okay, I need to go down here, turn right, turn left, then that's the restaurant. But how do I avoid?
avoid the
in?
street. The
Yeah.
street is well covered. If you can get underground or if you can get above ground, you've got a much better chance of avoiding their gaze.
Okay, so if in doubt, go up. Yeah. So I go
in
to
your
the
speeder.
roof.
Oh wait. Oh no.
Yeah, I don't have the speeder. No. So I'm going to go up. So I look for anywhere that's away. I'm looking behind me here, and there appear to be some kind of balconies here. So I'm going to make my way up, find a fire escape.
Sure. Yeah. They're
and clamber up to the roof, and then look for a way to get across.
Oh, that sounds great.
And I'm using Alpha and Beta as my backups here. My 2 drones.
That's so cute. Your little droids, your buddies. Sweet. That is awesome. Let's you can take a +1. Just making sure that that's the thing. Yeah, +1 forward, acting on the answers and act under pressure here.
Yeah, right. So let me act under pressure, which is cool, which I have a 2 in.
Oh, you're so good at this. +3. This is guaranteed.
Oh yeah, that's a 5 plus 3 becomes an 8.
Yeah.
Stumble, hesitate, or flinch.
Here is, I will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. You make your way along the rooftops, and you get to one point where the alley is just, it's really, really broad. You're trying to figure out, is this one of those where I'm going to jump and hit Alpha or Beta to carry me across, or am I going to grab onto them, or going to stand on them? You're just trying to figure out what's the best way to manage that. And you can see Chip Off Cantina just across the street. Like you're a catty corner or crossways from it. You can actually see the neon of the Chip Off Cantina. It's like this, like a data chip that's broken off, and then some stuff in Arabic. But underneath, like right at the alley, where underneath you see that Monocle or Mon is having a very quiet, intense conversation with a dealer. And you can't tell if a deal's going down or if Mon's giving them orders or what, but you could tell from the twitchy movements of the person that Mon, she used the she, her pronouns that Mon is using. You could eavesdrop and maybe get a little bit of dirt. What do you do?
Yeah, I think because Alpha is a kind of an insect-sized.
Oh,
tiny-
alpha's insect size. Okay,
Yeah,
that's definitely
um,
not going to help you get across.
No, beta is bigger, but alpha is tiny. Small, fragile, stealthy, and sensor image enhancement. Now, strangely, the sensor options didn't have audio, so I don't quite know what to.
We'll just imagine that you can hear.
Okay.
You get
so
a
yeah,
dog-sized one. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's-
so yeah, I think alpha will get as close as possible, and just sit on a surface, and I will listen in.
Okay, sweet. So you will catch a smattering of the conversation, and then we're
And
gonna.
I'd like to cash in on that basis my second hold for where can I gain the most advantage? So I'm thinking, what are they going to be saying that's of most use to me?
Nice, nice. Cool. So you catch a little bit of the conversation, and I'll give you just a taste of it, and then we'll jump into the answer to the question. And
Yes, glitter stem. You need more of it. You need to move it. It will draw them to us. Do you understand?
the twitchy little pusher says, yeah, glitter stem. I just that's not cheap. That's not cheap. And Mon says, if you need the credits, I will fund you, but you need to move glitter stem. And yeah, what you get is that Mon seems to be either looking for particular clientele to draw them in, or is looking to establish some kind of new opportunity. Does that seem like a fair answer to your question?
It does.
Cool.
And my third hold is how can I avoid trouble or hide here? Now I'm wondering, or what's my best way in without Mon seeing me?
Mon is going to take off once she's done with this deal. So if you sit tight for a bit, which may make you late, you have to take the public transit, it's not super reliable. So you may end up late to the meeting, and Janice won't be super happy. That's the best way to make sure you get in safely without any further trouble. And let's jump over to Danazor. And just because I'm looking at time, maybe Dana and Wick, the two of you are together in this opening, if that's okay.
What bit of your equipment am I as we were failed to repair properly? And I'm trying to tell you that no, it's meant to work that way. It's completely meant to be that way.
And she goes, then show me how you get it to do what it says it does. And she will hand it back to you, and she'll stand behind you in that kind of looming human way, looking over your shoulder.
But it doesn't work that way when you're looking. I thought it was stealth. You're supposed to be an infiltrator. What kind of infiltrator has people looking?
Slack, Wick. I give you a lot of slack.
Well, what kind of infiltrator does this when someone's watching?
People's lives depend on this.
I mean, lives. Yours,
Lives,
life.
actual lives.
Yours is life. I mean, singular.
And that's when both of your comm units buzz, and you get the message from Janice saying, hey, got an opportunity.
I'm going to punch you. She goes to look at it.
Squackles will ankle over to Wick like, you sure we need her business? You sure?
Yes, we need business.
Disrespect, much disrespect. Let me shoot her a little. Just a little.
No, save that for socks.
Okay.
Dana knows where we live. Can I slightly go back? And maybe the thing that we were arguing over was the comm unit. And then it bleeps, and I go, see, works.
Nice. There's some weird ASCII characters. You're not sure what that means.
Yeah. Well, I read out what it says on mine and pretend that I'm reading it from hers.
I
On
want
the
to jump
house,
back.
on the house, fix on the house.
Free. Never get free from Jawas unless it's broken. Let's jump back to Clay. So you see that Costadur is trying to roll over and set up a credit that he will never pay to your cousin Amare. And then he glances over at you like, don't even get involved, friend. And he smiles. He has this like sharpened canines that some Twi'leks do. What do you do?
I think he's already holding all this stuff, right? Like it's not like
he's got like
there's
one of his arms around the bag and his Leku's wrapped around the top of it.
I'm like still kind of sat in the chair, and I think I'm gonna try to feign. I mean, he's gonna probably, I'm gonna be in shit with them no matter what for this, but like I accidentally am gonna knock my noodle bowl off onto him and try to maybe get some of the stuff back in the front. He's like, oh sorry, really meant nothing by it.
Oh, that is wicked smart. I think that's probably. Do you think? Are you trying to use fast talk here? Like you use the spill as a setup to talk these guys out of their stuff, or do you think you were just acting under pressure to try to quickly grab and retrieve some of the items?
Acting under pressure. Okay. My guess is he's either, whether it's on purpose or not, this is not the kind of person who's cool with having a noodle bowl spilled on them. So,
not at all. You are very 100% accurate. For sure. All right, roll plus cool.
Sorry, I lost my connection to the dice roller. Seven.
Oh, that's
Plus
right.
one.
Yours.
Yes.
Wait, I see a 9.
I'm sorry.
Plus 1, 10. Are we looking at the same thing? Last roll just happened a second ago. You rolled a 6 and a 3.
I'm certainly seeing 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, let's do.
Okay,
9.
just making sure we're all on the same
10.
page. 10 plus, you do it, no problem.
Yes, I think I looked at the previous roll.
He jumps back and the bag drops to the ground, and I imagine there's at least a half-hearted apology, and you filch a few things out of the bag before he's able to retrieve everything up, and he says, listen, you're just a customer. Omerso, I'll send you the bill. I'll send you the bill for this. And he's pointing to his nice shirt, and then he grabs the half-empty bag as you've retrieved some of the more expensive items filched before he took off. And you did it so well that you don't think your cousin even saw you do that.
I'll just kind of start putting some of the stuff back on the shelf.
Oh,
my coat.
Oh, I hope he doesn't realize you did that.
He just dropped him, I'm sure.
I hope that's what he thinks. You need to go, Clay?
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. You gonna be all right?
Sure. Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for trying to help, but you don't need to put yourself in that kind of danger. Those guys are bad news. You should go.
All right. Well, you let me know if they cause any more trouble. But
you get the feeling he won't. You get the feeling he won't unless it gets really, really bad. Cool. Awesome. So as we start to go into you all meeting with Janice, with Socks arriving slightly late, which is super out of character because he drives so fast, there is a particular style of music, and I'll link folks for anyone that wants to go read a brief Wikipedia. It is very brief. It is called Leap Jump. It was popular among young people during the Clone Wars, but much like how synthwave is making has kind of a comeback here, even though it's synth styles from the 80s, Leap Jump is currently like the low grade rage. Kitsune has no Leap Jump stars at this point. Sure, the Lindy Hop. It is an electric, it's rhythmic, it's danceable, it's pretty loud. And Leap Jump is retro Leap Jump. Hollow net jockeys or HJs are playing it in the underground, so you can hear it in Neon Quarter, but never in any of the Kitsune stuff. Like for some reason they've been filtering it out. It hasn't gotten a whole lot of play. So that is a thing that exists. I'm curious who among you thinks Leap Jump sounds okay. Maybe it's fun to dance to. Dana's okay. All right.
It's about movement. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in.
Nice.
Wick has no ear for music.
No
It all
ear for
sounds
music.
the same. Yeah, he just goes, anytime anyone asks him about anything.
Makes it damned hard to think.
Those are all true statements. No ear for. Awesome. So the three of you come in, and soon Socks comes after, and Chip Off Cantina has a little bit of a retro vibe to it, in that there are booths along the outside. There's actually a hollow, there's say the word, Rich, like a coin operated music machine. It has almost all of the selections are Kofuku songs or covers of Kofuku. There are several posters in one particular area of Kofuku. Kofuku is basically she's kind of the Beyonce of Karania City, in that she was a pop star for long enough to where she became considered as some kind of royalty. Now things have changed, and there are people who think that she's just evolved her music, but there's this running conspiracy that she's been replaced, and that the Kofuku music isn't as good now as it was before, and that this new Kofuku is a fake. So there's all of the Kofuku music that you hear is like not from the last year, as you come in. But Chip Off Cantina has an older ex-slicer with a cybernetic arm named Block, who's behind the counter, and it's a restaurant bar kind of deal. All the music's piped in. They don't have live shows. It's close enough in Port Quarter, jukebox, that is the word, thank you. It's close enough in the Port Quarter to where you can make your way to shows if need be, but that's often in Neon Quarter. You guys come in, you see Janice is already there. He's seated in his traditional booth. The Chip Off Cantina, while it is a relatively low-key cantina, does have a person who runs security, a Twi'lek who has a Leku, a cybernetic replacement Leku, which is unheard of amongst the Twi'leks. While you may see many Deveronians with a horn chipped off, the idea of a Twi'lek losing one of their Leku is horrific to Twi'lek. But Tazkirat, she wears her cyber Leku without a care. But Janice waves you guys over as soon as you step in. He seems nervous. He says, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. He has set up one of the like little booster seats. Wick, he always does that for you, so you can sit and look over the table. Do you sit on the booster seat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's even like a button on the side of the booster of this, like seats raised down, and like sits down, and then he jumps on it, presses it, and shoo, straight back up again with a little rocking backwards and forwards.
Cool. And then we cut outside Socks. You see that Mon's moved on, and the twitchy guy who's supposed to be getting some glitter stem, he makes a quick call, And yes, that is correct. That is why it's a very, thank you for that note about Twilix. Yeah, they're called brain tails for a reason, as a thing. Yeah. So Socks, you're able to join them so that I don't have to do the conversation twice. And it seems like he calmed you, Socks. And he's like, are you coming? Are you coming? Everyone else is here. Sorry to rush
I'm coming.
everything. I'm glad that all of you could make it in such a short amount of time. I know this is out of the norm, and I apologize for that, but the opportunity is time sensitive. There is a HoloNet jockey by the name of Sindar. She is a Sephi. Sephi is a particular very rare species. Space gray elves. It's actually a thing in Star Wars, but sure enough, they're gray-skinned space elves. It's kind of sort of what the Sephi look like. There's a Sephi named Sindar. She's set to go on tour around Zinja's empire, and she wants out. Kitsune's got their claws in her, something fierce. They're making a big push for a leap jump, and Sindar's going to be their headliner. They're hoping she'll supplant Kofuku. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but they put a lot of money into this, a lot of credits. She wants out, and there's an indie label that is willing to pull her out. And they've offered us a job. The thing is, she premieres tomorrow night and goes on a galactic tour tomorrow night. So that's why I had to get to you guys so you could get some legwork in.
Sounds
I
good.
don't know where Sindar's being kept. But that's why you guys are here, right? I can offer each of you 3 cred for this up front, and then if you're able to pull it off quickly, that's great. And there's a bonus. If you can get the album she was set to release, if you can get that released before the premiere, Rogue Records has offered a bonus of 2 extra creds. So you could actually come out with 5 here. It's a good pay. It's not bad at all. Any objections, or can I count on you?
Hell yes.
I'm in.
Okay.
Who are these Rogue Records, though? Haven't heard of them.
They get a little bit of money from Novatech. They're new. They're trying to put a push into the entertainment industry. I figured it was perfect for you guys because Kitsune hates you. You hate Kitsune. Anything that takes a chink out of their armor is good. Seemed like a win-win.
I don't hate Kitsune. They have very shiny things.
They do.
Well, we'll take some more of them.
Yes.
Okay. So if you jump the clocks of unhidden a column, when you accept the job, mark XP. There are others. When you separate Sindar from her corporate handler, mark XP. When you leak the Omnimillennial Tour album, mark XP. When you deliver Sindar to heaven below, mark XP. And that's the last piece that Janice tells you, is that you need to get Sindar and then deliver her to heaven below so that she can premiere with Rogue Records.
Meta
Yes.
question. When you negotiate the terms of a job, roll edge, get the job.
Exactly. Yep. Now you guys need to go ahead, and the peripheral moves, you will get the job. So he's offering up the pay. But now you have the possibility of getting intel or gear. And I probably should have held off on the pay thing. Jumped the gun. I was getting excited. All right, so you're negotiating the terms of the job. Roll plus edge. Who is your negotiator?
I mean, Wick would always jump into that role, but I would note that Claith is actually better at
Yeah,
rolling.
you need the corp man to do the corp talk.
I think you know, it's maybe Wick. If Claith is willing to be the negotiator, then it would definitely be a case of Wick like babbling away, and then Claith just cutting across. You know, like,
if Wick begins to jabber, then I hit the down on the screen.
yes, yeah.
So what he's saying is,
Nice. Perfect. Go ahead and roll edge. Roll plus edge, Claith, which is a +2 for you.
5.
Okay, that is
Help! I will help. Can I help?
As
Well,
can I?
let's. So we help or hinder another on a hit. They take +1. I think you can't help that to a success based on the help rules, as I understand it.
So only one person can help?
Yeah, I think there's like help or no. I don't think there's team up like 2 people helping.
Oh, and I've just realized I don't have any link with
You didn't
Clay.
mark.
So
Yeah, because you didn't go.
So
and hit
someone
it.
else could.
Well, you could. You just roll. 5.
Could, it
You roll
would just
+0.
make it just 6.
Yeah.
It's harder. Yeah, so I think that's just a fail. Cool. So that's all right. Maybe all that stress from before 66 circle, Claith. There's just something about you trying to negotiate the job and you don't get to the job.
Yeah,
think the meeting's
Jane,
gonna attract some-
you know, we've got all these questions we want to ask, and then Jenna says, "Okay, I'll see you," and just walks away.
Yeah, that's it. You guys have all the details you need. Great. And then he'll take off. And I think what I'll do is I'll just drop that potential of 3 and 1 or 3 and 2. It's going to be 2 and 2. So possibility of 4. Now, there's one thing I want to get established before we do our wrap up. So mark XP for Claith. So there's this cool bit about this game where you stake creds based on your belief about the potential success of this mission. We can do that at the beginning of next session, or we can do that at the end here. You can stake 1, 2, or 3 creds. And what that means is you're betting on yourself. It's how you can increase your payout. And
Oh yeah, I am. I am currently contacting my broker to buy Rogue Records. You know, buy shares in Rogue Records. I want to stake 3 of my 5.
Yep. So you stake 1, 2, or 3 points of cred on the success of the mission. You cross that cred off your playbook. So you guys all started with 5. You'd have 4 cred. I put in the keeper to the, you can see you've already got 3 cred staked for socks. So what this means is that if you complete the mission and get paid in full, you get back twice the amount you staked. And if you'd gotten the job pays well, you would have gotten back 3 times what you staked. So that could have been even better, but that's okay.
No brainer. Need a very expensive manifold for the speeder.
All right. And also for every player that stakes 3 cred on a job, the legwork or action clock advances. This is a check-in. You can, Alan, are you still good with the 3?
Oh yeah, I want to see the mechanics work.
Awesome.
What does that mean? Like, it means that we have to get going? Like we have less prep time?
Well, what it means is if you're staking 3 cred, that means this is a higher stake engagement, and mechanically, as the legwork phase, those action clocks advance, it's more notable that you're involved in the job, and so the corpse that will be affected by it will have a shorter reaction time to things. Does that make sense? People know you're going on this big job.
most mechanically, it means on when we roll when you go to a meet to get paid by your employer, roll and add the number of unfilled segments on the legwork clock. So the less legwork clocks that you filled in, the less likely you are to get in trouble when you go to get paid. Whereas the more legwork sections that are filled in, the more likely you are to be a setup or an ambush, not paid in full, outside of parties, etc. Yeah.
Cool. And we'll re-review this when we get near the end of the job. But the short version is when you're gathering information so you can go do your job, that's a legwork phase, and fails and mixed successes will cause that clock to continue to tick up. But you can get things like intel and gear that will allow you to have things narratively, or also give yourself boosts on your die rolls that really matter. So that is...
I would like to defer to the other two before I make my decision on how many creds I would like to stake, just because both me and Alan tend to go extreme on choices, and I don't want to take those away from other people.
Claith and Donna both went with 2.
Okay, then I'm going to go with 3 as well, because I don't think that, I don't think you get very cautious, Jawas, do you?
Jawas are very cautious. Is that what you said?
No, I'm saying the opposite. No, not at all.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, what, really?
Positively impetuous.
Well, certainly one that picked up and moved to another planet definitely is not on the well-considered side.
But it's paying off. Look at these eyes.
And she looks at her communicator, growls.
Well, we are at time. If anyone wants to stick around to do some quick stars and wishes, I'd appreciate it. But if you need to go, because all right. Let's start with wishes so that we can end with stars. Wishes are anything that you would like clarification on within the game, or also wishes can be narrative. I really want this thing to pay off, or I'm really interested in this relationship, organization, anything that we've set up. Who would like to go first with wishes?
I want a car chase.
Car chase. That will 100% happen. Anything else, Alan? Okay, Will?
I would like to sell something. I know I didn't take that move, but I would like to steal something and sell it at some point.
Okay.
Oh, I guess
like
yeah. Opportunity to do my hustles, I suppose, as well.
Oh, right. And someone had a beginning of session move, and I don't think we hit that, so we got to do that.
I would just to say I'm happy to not always do my hustles. I'm conscious in these kind of games of not getting bogged down in one playbook's kind of like mini game kind of thing, but it would be interesting.
Okay, thank you, Will. Brandon or Sherry?
I think one of the things I'm looking forward to is doing infiltration, and particularly with Mother Duck, of leading all of these fools through the thing. That would be very, very fun, because we've got just such a different weird crew, and making it so it could work for all of them would be really fun.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that too. Brandon, what about you?
Want to do some fun heist planning, stuff like, and I now am excited about having a robot droid friend or contact.
Cool. I like it. Since you went last with wishes, you get to go first with stars. Brandon, are you familiar with giving out stars? Just highlights of the moment, any particular characters or bits that you enjoyed?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Cool.
Sorry, no sleep last night. Sorry.
It's okay.
But not that I don't have anything that I just really enjoyed. I guess. Well, stars for the setting and the setup of this.
Thank you.
Felt like got a great idea of everyone's character. You for setting up the intros, and everyone else for their little moments during those intros. Those were all very fun.
Good. Thank you so much. Sherry, you're up next. Did you have any star standout?
I thought the entire process of doing links was like the most fun links thing that I'd done in a long time. Just super fun. Everyone did cool little things, and yeah, and it was fun how everyone participated. The things that we added. I have some very vivid stories in my head now.
Me too. That links thing really added a needed bit of connection. It linked things, one might say. Thank you, Sherry. Will, did you have any stars?
I've had a quick trip to Coronia City before with Rust Hulks, but I think you've done a really good job of making it like a living, breathing, cyberpunky kind of setting. And I thought everybody did really well with, building on Block 13 and the corporations and all of that. The Osiris and the droid, like sentience and everything, all felt really natural. I just want to say the link thing, not just for the mechanic, which is cool, and I think maybe a thing to steal, but definitely maybe that would be good for Bounding of the Week.
Maybe it would be.
Yeah.
Cool.
But the way everyone participated in it as well, I thought was really nice, and it built up a lot of character between us all. I loved Sock's 66 circle background. Really seemed to suddenly skew our gang's relationship with the non-corporate side of the thing, in a different, more interesting way. And finally, big star to everyone for not objecting to me playing a Jawa, because it is a comic relief character at the end of the day, but it's fun.
I am also glad that you made that choice, crazy as it may be. Alan, did you have any stars you wanted to share?
Yeah, stars for playing a Jawa. It's really nice to see a Jawa played by someone other than Stephen. This is my first non-Stephen Jawa. I'm liking I'm getting a vibe off Dan Azor, which is the kind of young hotshot to be, the slightly naive but talented, gonna be. And I think that you met your directive, Brandon, for Claith. I think you resolved a charge situation without violence. Mark experience.
Oh yeah, thank you for that. I didn't,
because I thought that was I thought that was what you were heading for, and I think you pulled that off really well. I thought it was a really neat way to not get into fisticuffs with 66 circle, just off the bat. I thought it was great.
Yeah, mark that XP 100%.
And Rich, it's always fun. Thank you.
Awesome. I really love this cast of characters. Excited to have you aboard, Brandon, with these vets from the Star Wars world as we create some new canon in Coronia City. We will bring this to a close and not too far over. Thank you all so much for playing, and we'll hit the mission next week.